Moses represents the flesh and death, because death reigned from Adam to Moses. Christ represents the spirit. So it's the same pattern, and Christ is fulfilling it. So it's a day for a year in prophecy. You can see the same prophecy, only a matter of days rather than years. Now why that's important is, back in Genesis with Noah, the 120 number means the end of the flesh and the reign of the spirit. Because he says, I will not always strive with man. He's flesh. And God's saying, we'll put my spirit in him. Now why that's important is, upcoming is the 120th Jubilee from creation, the Lord's Jubilee. And that's always proclaimed in this month upcoming. Yeah. It's always proclaimed during that time.
Okay, we're almost at an hour. Do we want to take a short break so that film is like a 1 hour session? And then we can have questions and answers, and maybe that can become, we can even save that until there's an hour of questions answered to add to that first hour. How long, does that have a certain time it does, or is it gonna run out?
No, continue.
No.
No,
It's just-
already.
Yeah, so it's an hour already. So I wanna take a quick break and then have questions, and you can film the questions and answers?
Yeah,
Cool?
yeah,
Oh,
we can, whatever you guys wanna do, yeah.
Yeah, because,
Put it on pause.
what? No, that'll be good. That's a real hour of really packed stuff. And maybe,
Wow, really amazing.
yeah, we can, huh?
Oh, I was wondering.
I can stay here until tomorrow morning, honest to God, I love this stuff.
Well, I got a question about the second.
Go ahead.
Wait. This is what I'm talking about. This
The
is going
second
forever.
solar eclipse in 7 years. It's gonna happen again. So, but
Yeah, there's going to be a second solar eclipse, but it's not going to be like this
I
one.
wanna
just
make
occurred.
it so.
no, it's
Yeah, and it's not only, this
A
time
minute,
was
an hour
under the
for
US
questions.
land.
Yeah, because if you make it 2 or 3 hours. people
Now what's
can't
also
hear it.
interesting is this solar eclipse, when it went out to the
Yeah, that's a
ocean,
long time.
it actually hit
We're not-
Harvey and
2 hours,
Irma.
I'm like, oh.
So when the
Oh,
tropical
no
storms
kidding.
were out there, the solar eclipse actually went over
Yeah.
Irma and Harvey.
No
Yeah.
kidding,
Yeah, and
Are you
touched them.
serious?
Yes.
wow. that's
So all
amazing.
of this is significant. God is trying to tell us something.
Can you repeat, please?
Oh, thank you.
When the solar eclipse left the landmass of the continental United States, right at Charleston, when it went out of the Atlantic Ocean, there were 2 tropical storms out there, depressions.
Oh
One was Irma and one was Harvey. The solar eclipse went over both of them,
Oh.
actually traversed them, and they came to the landmass.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
You tell me these things are not coincidences?
Well, here's my question,
That's cool.
Edwin, in regards to like the return of the Lord and all. Of course, he's showing us the signs and sun and moon and the stars and everything, but I thought it had a lot to do with the church and how they are obedient to the Great Commission and, you know, being like, it's almost like he's flexible in when he would come according to how the church is ready and preparing, and I just was wondering, or is he just gonna come when he wants to? Of course, that's sovereign, but because he's connected with us, I always kind of thought it had something to do with the fervency and the prayer and the intensity and the vibrancy that,
They want eternal.
like, if they pray to me and say, "Come, Lord Jesus," and I don't know, I was just kind of wondering if the church has something to do with, the evidence. how do you say, the nearness of his return. Is that kind of a hard question?
Are you saying, I'm going to rephrase your question, are you saying that the church would pray that he doesn't come?
No, does come.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, like, it seems like if we just kind of sit back and go, oh, yeah, whatever, but if we're fervent and vibrant and expecting, but, you know, wanting to be what he wants us to be on earth and share our faith and continue, because it's like, we've always heard that verse that until the last person has accepted Christ, the Lord, you know, will not return. The Lord, what is it?
I think he
That he
needs to
tarries.
kill the more
That's such a
demons.
husky spirit.
So it's appointed day.
I pray every day that the Lord will come quickly. Every
Yeah, I know.
day.
Well, he knows, he said he'll the Spirit and the bride say cometh. He knows that
Yeah,
the bride longs for the bridegroom to come,
right.
and that's all part of it.
Yeah, there's two reasons why we can desire the Lord to come. One of them is because we're really overwhelmed with our life, or we really are overwhelmed to see His face and be with Him. It's like this, sometimes life can be really hectic and overwhelming, and like the future just seems like, oh my gosh, I can't have the future's gonna be insane. You've got to come, So it's like that whole reason why we want Him to come. But God wants us to just because we want to be with Him. More than just because we want to escape. Because I think I want to escape. I'm trying to have more of that heart for God.
Well, what's interesting, the sixth day is prophetic of the 6,000th year. So he expects man, so Adam and Eve, on the sixth day, were in God's image. Now we know that they're prophetic of Christ and the church, so he would expect that on the 6,000th year, that he would see the church in his image, because that's the day he decided to create that. So it's prophetic of the actual end of time. So a day is like 1,000 years. And Moses learned that when he was in the divine cloud. He's the only man to actually go in the divine cloud. So he's saying that on the sixth day, which is we're in right now, that he expects the corporate man-child, the church, to be in his image. So this would be, this Yom Teruah would be an image of that the church is in his image, that she has conquered, the moon's under her feet, so she has conquered, she has overcome, and she's ready for the marriage. She's ready for the marriage. So the bride's being presented just the way Esther was presented. She's ready for the wedding feast. She's ready for the marriage.
I had a question about when Moses